Hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. Now technically I've already filmed this, but I used some of the products incorrectly, so I wanted to give it another go. So it's kind of a first time trying, more of a second time trying. I'm hopefully going to learn from some of those mistakes. I picked up the Cult Beauty and Saie edit, which is already sold out, so it's not a review necessarily of this edit, because you can't get it anymore, but hopefully they will bring it back. But I've not used the brand before, even though I've heard some really good things. So I thought that this would be a really good opportunity to, and a really good way of buying multiple products for a really good price and trying them out to see if it's a brand that I would enjoy. We're going to start off with the Glowy Super Gel Dewy Illuminating Fluid in the shade Sunglow. Now, when I tried to use this before, I already had my full face on, and immediately I thought to myself, for me, this is probably the kind of shade I would, or the kind of product I would want to mix in with a foundation. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I've deliberately picked a matte foundation that I know that I enjoy. So I've got the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and that's what I'm going to mix it in with. So let's see if you'll focus. Yeah, it's focused enough. So that's what it looks like on its own. And I'll apply, I think I normally use a pump and a half of Estee Lauder. So I'm just going to swirl that about on the back of my hand. And then go in. Probably should have deposited it evenly all over my face first, but here we are. And yes, I've got different eyes because I'm currently testing out an eyeshadow palette. Pump and a half is probably too much, especially seeing as I'm going to be seeing as I have mixed it in with a different product. So let's just dip back in to get my forehead. And I know I look very dark now because my lighting is awful because I cannot get it right. So please be patient with me with my lighting. I'm experimenting and it's not going particularly well right now, but I will get there eventually. Estee Lauder foundation, the Double Wear, is pretty matte, so it will be interesting to see what that looks like once it's dried down. But considering that I'm not as much of a matte girl these days, but I still like the longevity and the wear of Double Wear, this might make it a shade that I can actually use more while getting the desired look that I like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop and adjust this colouring because this is all wrong. All wrong. Back in a minute. I'm back and I've adjusted my lighting. I'm hoping that this will be okay. It probably will be until the clouds move and the sun comes back out, but let's carry on. So where were we? Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation mixed with the Saie Glowy Super Gel Dewy Illuminating Fluid in Sunglow. And funny enough, playing around with my camera has given my foundation enough time to dry down a bit, and I can definitely see the glow. Estee Lauder is kind of one of my holy grails. It's one of the first foundations that I used and I fell in love with, quite possibly because when I was younger I was super oily. Still can be in the T-zone, but far less so than I used to be. But for me now it's probably on the matte side. Well, it's very much on the matte side. So adding in some of that glow liquid, Glowy Super Gel, has given it a really lovely finish. So yeah, I like that, and I think that'll probably make me reach for my Estee Lauder a bit more, because I have to admit I have neglected it more recently just because it's a bit too matte for my personal preferences these days. But potentially a good shade, a good foundation to use in the summer when you are producing more oils. But yeah, definitely something that I will be using, especially in combination with this particular foundation. Face is now concealed, and what do I normally do next? I think I normally do a bit of blush. And you would think I'd have my brushes close by. No, of course not. Why would I be sensible? Oh, actually they're not too far. They're within arm's reach. Next up is blush. So we are going to use the Dew Blush Liquid Cheek Flush in the shade Cutie. And this is the component. It feels like glass, actually. That's a very nice component. Let's start with 2 dots and see how we go. Being quite careful here. I wonder if that's perhaps a little lighter than I would normally go. So I don't think I'll necessarily put too much. But no, I think that's pretty. I mean, it's definitely dewy. Definitely dewy. We just, yeah, even like to the touch, it's got like a bit of stick to it. So I'll definitely be powdering that down. To me, I don't necessarily see the colour on me, I just see glow. Like in comparison, I mean that's a little bit glowy, but I think that's only because of the glowy product I've used before. But you can see like in comparison. So I'll do this side now. Yeah, see, I think you can see what I mean as I'm applying this. Like I can't necessarily see the shade, I just see the dew. So I'd be curious to see if they have deeper shades, to see if you can see the colour as well as the shine. So I think on the dew blush, the jury might be out until I can try a different shade. One of the products is a highlighter, but part of me thinks to myself, do I even need one? But we're going to put it on anyway. Let's see. Refa brushes at their shedding game again. Don't know how I feel about that. All dew, no blush. That's what I'm getting. But as I say, could just be the shade. Hard to say. This is the Glow Sculpt in Quartzglow Multi-Use Cream Highlighting Blush. See, it even says it's a highlighting blush. I'm going to go straight in with this Pat McGrath highlighty brush, and I'm going to try and be... I'm just nervous because I've already got quite a lot of glow from that blush. I don't know that if that's adding more. Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, that I see. So it's added some gold on top of that dew. I don't know if I would naturally use these products together, just because, I mean, it depends what look you're going for. If you want to be beaming, then this could be the way to go. Mind you, I will be setting with a bit of powder, so that should hopefully take the edge off. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see it on this side. Ooh! Wow. But yeah, I think I would use this with a matter blush. I think the Saie blush is too dewy to then put this on top. But that's for my personal preference. If you want to glow to the heavens, then putting these together will make you look positively radiant. But I don't know if it's a bit much for me. I do like the shade though. So yeah, this I like and I want to try this again, but I think I'm going to put this with a matter blush because I think that would just be more flattering and more to my liking and personal preference. But I don't know, as I'm looking at myself though and tilting my face, it's growing on me. It's definitely growing on me. And I'm still looking at this, wondering if I should go lighter. Like, the sun is just, it's not my friend today. It's really not my friend. So I apologise sincerely, profusely, again, for this lighting situation. We'll try the Glossybounce first. So the Glossybounce Hydrating Lip Oil in the shade Dip. So I'm going to try that on the lips first without any product, and then I'll wipe that off and put on the other lip product. That's just like a pretty, it's got like a very slight hint of colour. Hydrating without giving that really sticky feel. Yeah, I like that on its own. So that's the component there. Have I put that the right note? No. So that's the component, and I think that's glass again. And yeah, that's pretty. That could be a staple. I can see that being in my handbag and something that I just pull out and apply. That's very, very nice. So let's wipe that off so we can try the other lip product. The other lip product that came in the box is the Lip Blur Matte Blurring Lipstick in the shade Modern. So that's the outer packaging there, in case you were curious. And that's the lipstick itself. I'm going to show you what it looks like on its own, but my personal preference would be with a brown liner. But just so you can see it, I mean, to be fair, I'm not mad at it on its own, but I think it would just be more flattering with a brown liner. So I'm going to add a brown liner. There we go. It just melts in so much better with a brown liner. So I would wear it like this, but let's just see what this looks like over the top. So going back with the first lip product, the hydrating oil. Yeah. See, that's a pretty winning lip combination in my opinion. That's definitely a combination I can see myself using often. I like that. I'm not going to be using the mascara because I don't like to have too many mascaras on the go. I do throw them away after 6 months, so the only product I'm not going to be trying from this edit is the mascara. So I'm going to finish my face off and then I will be back to give you my final thoughts on each item. I'm back. And the lighting, oh god, right, okay, let's just not even go there. Very quick summary on my opinion of these Saie products that I've just tried. I think it's pronounced Saie. I'm going to go with Saie. I mean, I was giving my thoughts as I went along, but just a very quick summary. Starting off with the Glowy Super Gel in Sunglow. I liked this. I can see myself using this again. It's a really good addition to if you've got a foundation, for example, that you find is a bit too matte. This will help to glow it up a bit, basically. So yeah, I like that. We'll definitely be using that again. Next up was the Dew Blush. That's the Dew Blush. I really like the component, I've got to say. For me, I mean, I mentioned it, I could see the dew, but I couldn't see the shade. So I'd be curious to see if I tried like a more purple, like deeper shade, if I would like that a bit more. But it gave more highlighter vibes almost. So I think it kind of depends on what you're looking for in a blush. This was incredibly dewy, probably more dewy than I would prefer. So I think, not that I wouldn't use it again, but I would probably use it in a very different way. So if I used this, I don't think I would apply highlighter on that day. But yeah, hella dewy, I'll give it that. Perhaps too much so. So yeah. What did we have next? The highlighter. This was the Glow Sculpt. And I don't think I actually showed you it, so it's a mess now because I've dipped into it. But that is the Glow Sculpt. And I liked that. I definitely wouldn't use it in conjunction with the blush. I mean, you'd be able to be seen from space, I think, if you use those two. I don't know, you might like that look. And every now and again, there's a time and a place for looking like you could be seen from space. But on the whole, these are not two things that I would use together. Individually, yes. Especially this with a matte type blush. I don't know if I'd use it with a powder blush though. I think it would turn into a bit of a congealed mess. Some of my Made by Mitchell blushes that I've got, I think would pair beautifully with this. So yeah, I like that and I would definitely use it again. The Glossybounce Lip Oil. Let's turn that around so you can see. Yeah, I really like this. This is going to be something that I will be using on a regular basis, either on its own or with the lipstick. The last one here, that's the Lip Blur. And again, I really like the sleek packaging of that. So yeah, I like this. This is my kind of shade of lipstick, to be honest. For an everyday, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you know, from going to work, this is the kind of lipstick that I would put on. And it pairs really nicely with the lip oil. So yeah, I really enjoyed these two. As an introduction to Saie, it was pretty positive. I've been hearing about the brand a lot. I've definitely been curious, but there's nothing really that's prompted me to go out and buy a product by them. So when Cult Beauty did this edit, I was like, yeah, I'll have that. 35 quid, 6 products, perfect. It's just a shame that it sold out so quickly, but I will try to remember to list each item individually in the description box, because I'm hoping that at the very least this will help you to decide if Saie is a brand that you want to try. So while you can't get the box anymore, maybe you've looked at this and thought, actually, do you know what? I don't think I like all the items in the box anyway. I only liked the highlighter, or I only liked the Sunglow. At least now, hopefully you know. So as always, I hope it's been helpful. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye bye.